So good practice, huh?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I don't like that end, but we gotta get kids to class. So that's a good lesson for them to learn. That hey, you might not have the guys there when you get in the game, so you got to midstream adjust and go play.
What is Kristich? What's he done good?
More leadership. It's kind of taken over the leadership role of the offense, and he just works hard at it.
Yeah.
Like Dan said, he was out here 30 minutes after practice, all during double days working, and I think the kids saw that, and they saw what his character was, and they got behind him on that, and really he's just overcome a lot of things and taken over the job. It's one of those things where somebody stepped up and took it, and that was him.
I mean, it's interesting that a guy, you give him the chance, and all of a sudden you realize that he's got these leadership qualities. It's
right.
Like the first game he played, he came up, and he was like, it was all on me and that kind of stuff. It's like,
right. Yeah, I mean, that's character, and that's what you look for. And I've always said college football is 80% mental, and you get a guy like that with the right mentality. I mean, there's a million stories like that, out there over the years, but I think that's a good one that he's got.
How rare is it for a walk-on to do that, to spend basically 3 years waiting his turn, not knowing if he'd ever get his turn, and to put in all those extra hours after practice?
I think it's pretty rare. You see it, but most of the time when a walk-on shines, you're going to get them in the second year. You find something in them and say, wow, okay. And I've only been around it 3 or 4 times in the 37 years I've been coaching that you had a kid that went all the way to his senior year. I had that Chase Kinnemer, that linebacker, my second year here, that he was a fifth-year senior, really hadn't done anything, and all of a sudden he was our best player on defense. So, it happens, but it tells you something about the character of the kid to sit in there for 3 years and just keep fighting away, and all of a sudden it clicks and he becomes the guy.
Can you tell a confidence change from the last game?
Yeah, from a team standpoint, I think we're totally different. The kids believe in themselves now, and that was the hardest thing when I took it over. And I knew that was the mindset that I had to change. I don't think the kids were believing in themselves, and I think Stitch gave us something to rally around with it. And you look at that production in the East Carolina game. That's more points than we scored since going back. Total since going back to South Florida.
Trey Washington's kind of made a couple plays here and there in practice. Is that somebody who could see more plays?
Yeah, he's a young kid that's coming on. He had some physical problems last probably 3-4 weeks, and he's come around out of that, come off the training room, and he's done a pretty good job the last few days. So hopefully we can keep him healthy and he can keep growing.
When you look at Cincinnati, Gunnar Kiel a couple of years ago was, by most people, the top-rated quarterback in the country coming out of high school. Who does he remind you of, or what are the strengths of his game and the challenges he presents for your defense?
Well, I think he's a pretty competent quarterback. He reminds me a little bit of Garrett last year, Gilbert. He throws the ball well, similar situation, left a high-profile program, went to Cincinnati, kind of earned his way in there. I'm not sure when he got there, but you look at him, he's a big physical kid that's got a good arm. He can run, just similar. He reminds me a lot of Garrett Gilbert when he's, carrying the ball, and just his demeanor's on the field. So that's the guy I would compare him to.
Their coach, Tuberville, said during his press conference this week that he sees a lot of similarities between his team and yours. Do you see those similarities?
Yeah, I think there is some similarities. Their defense is struggling a little bit. We're struggling defensively right now a little bit, a lot more than I'd like to, and I think we'll get that resolved this week. They've lost 3 in a row. Obviously we haven't won one yet this year, but I still think like his football team's a good football team. I think my football team's a good football team. It's just a matter of finding themselves and going, and I hope that your team finds themselves this Saturday and that his team doesn't find themselves.
How important of a game do you? If you think about it, this is a pretty big game for you guys moving forward, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's huge.
Game,
yeah, they're all big, but this is a one. If we can get a win here, this could launch us through the rest of the season. And you're going to say that until you get that win, but this is one that you'd love to get this game. Got them at home. It's everything's set for you. Now we just got to go out and play. And again, it comes down to you got to play. So that's what we got to do. We got to try to win this one.
You've run a lot of guys through your training room. Cincinnati's also down to its 3rd or 4th running back now. Do you see a difference in the way they're using their running backs or the plays they're calling now that they're down to a different guy?
I think they've changed their mentality a little bit. I think they're throwing the ball more. You know, that 21, I think his name's Moore. He's an undersized kid. He's like 5'7", 175, but he's got some speed. I think they're going to use him more in screen situations. They've lost those 2 big backs. That 7 was a good back, and so was 23. So I think they'll find ways to maximize what Moore does.